Hello, and welcome, my Gemini Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Twin Flame read for July and August 2020, July into August 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mel for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Join the Circle Productions, and honored to be serving you today. My subscribers, thank you so much for following along. It's such an honor. I keep saying that because I really feel that. An honor, a pleasure to be serving you from the comfort of my dining room, which is kind of cool. If you are new to my channel, though, please do consider liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and commenting in the comment section below, because I do like the feedback, right? But do keep in mind, these are general reads, right? And sometimes people get a little personal on there. It's like, well, it's a general read. If you want something more specific from me, book me. Right? Find me on Facebook. Drop me an email at jointhecircle@gmail.com. Do give me some time, though. I'm checking the spam filters. I found a bunch in my spam filter today, and I was, as a Virgo, a little upset by that. But it's okay. Mercury's direct now, right? Yeah, whatever. So look, we're doing a twin flame read here. The way I define twin flames are apparently different from how a lot of people do. So you might want to check out some of the links in the description box explaining my take on twin flames that was inspired by the work of Matt Kahn. Spiritual teacher, has a brilliant YouTube channel, Matt Kahn, All for Love. We'll be using his healing mantra deck as last card down in this 16-card twin flame contract reading for the Gemini Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Essentially a twin flame contract. Well, like a soulmate contract, they're both pre-incarnational agreements that you make. They're written into the personalities of the lives that the soul incarnates into. So whoever is the soul incarnating is going to have to deal with that contract. But then the souls like pair up to say, oh, let's do that together. Oh, it'll be so good for us both. Except the twin flame contract, you teach each other how to love yourselves. Think about that. You teach each other how to love yourselves as the result of not being able to give each other the love you want. It doesn't mean you won't love each other. My father and I were twin flame contracts, which is another myth that you only have one twin flame and it's always sexual romantic. Ha! No, my father was a twin flame contract. My mother's a soulmate contract. That's why I like the soulmate reads better. Twin flame reads are rough because it really is learning how to love yourself in a one-on-one relationship, regardless of form. You with me? All right. So all you got to do is breathe, right? We're not doing divine masculine, divine feminine on this one. There are 3 lanes on this table. You will be over here, my Gemini Collective. Your twin in the contract will be over here. And then there will be the center lane looking at the contract itself, getting you some guidance and some grace. Cool. We're going to start with 2 Caroline Myss archetype cards. I will call out the decks as they go. They are all listed in the bottom of the description box anyway. Cool. Go check them out. There's some cool stuff in my description box. Always is when I'm talking twin flames, soulmates, and true love. So let's get up in this gig. You're an air sign. Remember to breathe. If you find yourself holding your breath, watch me because I got to breathe a lot. You do it so that you can stay in the present moment, feeling what resonates, leaving what doesn't. Remember, it's a general read. You can check your other signs from different twin flame contracts, maybe different aspects of the same one. And I will do the same to bring you the clarity, guidance, and grace as it comes to me from my pantheons. Cool. Let's do this. Take a deep breath. I know, it's a lot of explaining, it's a lot of exposition to get to the reading, but new people need to know what I'm doing, right? So there you are, my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, I need 2 cards. One for the Gemini Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. In this twin flame contract you would have us look at for July, August 2020, although timeless. If they're watching this at another time, it's fine. They can gather the info, the guidance, and grace that they need. But first, let's get our Gemini. Ooh, that one came out upside down, but I saw what it was, and that's cool. It'll be very interesting for you, I think, Gem. Probably a phase you're going through. We'll see. And one for the twin, please, in this Gemini Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract. Timeless, or July, August 2020. Shall we? Now, I already saw this one. You've got the divine family archetype of the monk and the nun. And this one comes up a lot more than I ever thought it would in these types of readings. Look at the size of the deck. There are archetypes in here that have never hit the table in one of these readings. And yet, oh my God, I just saw what the other one was. The monk and the nun for you, but your twin has the Messiah. Oh no! Jackknife. Both divine family archetypes. This is not a small deal. This is what the kids like to call a big deal, okay? This is a big deal. I can feel the vibe on that. I will read these, but do understand you are dealing with high-level contract, which probably means high-level conflict, and might very well be of a more spiritual and or religious nature. You're teaching each other how to love yourselves, teaching each other how to heal. Ooh. Every archetype is shadow and light. The shadow is what you are learning to heal within yourself. The light is what you are moving towards, according to Jungian psychology, one would think. And spiritual alchemy led to gold. The shadow attribute of the monk nun, that's gendered, although I don't see why monk isn't gender neutral, but whatever. Negative judgment of the physical world and excess piety. So that thing of like not wanting to interact, like, oh, it's just the world, it's too disgusting, it's too gross. Excessive piety is usually the spiritual ego trying to compensate for some sense of unworthiness by being like extra devout or like scrubbing yourself clean, but spiritually, right? Like, and maybe even physically, right? Like, I think a lot of OCD, not that I'm talking about necessarily psychological disorders, but people who consider themselves OCD and really aren't. It's just fueled by there's something that's unresolved within them, and it gives them a momentary sense of something to do about it. But they're trying to change the effect, not the cause, you see. So keep an eye on that. I mean, everybody's got a touch of that, sure, but when it's the monk or the nun, check the light attribute, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. So I've got a nice touch of that too. I already live, I wouldn't call it a monastic life, but a hermited one. So there's a difference between the hermit archetype and the monk or the nun archetype, but they do live somewhat cloistered lives. That doesn't mean you can't be out in the world as a Gemini communicating yourself. But this is directly talking about your devotion to the divine. Now, the beauty of this, what they're saying to me, is that means that you are being guided and taught, but you have to go in to find how to give yourself the love that only you can give yourself, and not project it onto someone who has the Messiah archetype. Now, the Messiah archetype is different than a Messiah complex. But let's look at that, shall we? The shadow attribute, exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. Have I had touches of that? Well, when you're self-employed, it's a little hard not to get that. But this is a divine family archetype. It's not like the engineer, because an engineer could have that too, right? More in terms of the strategies and the physical machinations of things. But the light attribute, serving humanity with humility, I have learned that the hard way by going to hell over and over and over again. I just said, I've been to the underworld so many times. I've got the River Styx speed pass, right? Easy pass. So you can feel very interesting dynamic. I mean, it's sort of like, I want to say, like a set, right? Like it's like salt and pepper shaker, that you've got a monk or a nun in a twin flame contract with someone who it has the Messiah. It's just very, very interesting. You know, like sort of hand in glove kind of fit. So don't worry, we got plenty more to go. What we're going to do is take 2 tarot decks, Daughters of the Moon. I'm going to get Fire, Earth, Air, Water, Spirit to clarify for you. And I'm going to do the same. We're doing Daughters of the Moon for you. We're using the Mythic Tarot for your twin. Sort of an energy read of you in the contract, right? So take a nice deep breath. Let me ask my gods and my goddesses. Breathe. My gods and goddesses sacred, please. We're going to do the element spread. 5 cards. I'll call them out one at a time. Please, Fire, Earth, Air, Water, Spirit, for this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in this twin flame contract, either timeless or in more specific, July into August 2020, please. Can you give me for this monk nun archetype in this Gemini contract, what do they want? Their element of fire. What is the fuel, the earth that feeds the fire, helping them get what they want? What is it that they think about this contract? It's all about the contract. What is it that they feel about this contract? Okay, and what is the card of spirit? The voice of the soul, and it is the soul that signed the contract. It's the soul, not the ego, not the personality. We don't remember doing any of this, right? We were chosen to play the role, but I'm pretty sure we had to sign off. So what is the point of view of their soul, the voice of the soul? Now, before I interpret those, which I will do, I just want the same on this side of the table because I'm going to turn both of your fire at the same time. It's just that every time I do this, they're like, try it this way. Not that it's better or worse necessarily, but I think it's more fun. So take a nice deep breath. Let's look at the Messiah. Oh boy. I mean, this one's got, I wouldn't call it lightning, but I'd say very, very bright light around it. Like almost like where you kind of want to do like that, a little Trixie Mattel, like pull back like that. Here we go. Breathe. High voltage, please. My gods and goddesses, again, 5 cards, element spread for this Messiah archetype in this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract, timeless, or July into August 2020, please. Element of fire, what does the Messiah want in this contract? Element of earth, what is the fuel that feeds the fire, what they have to help them get what they want in this contract? What is their element of air, what they, think about 2 cards, just one please. What they think about this contract, I felt you go around, it is this card. It went around 3 times in my hand. Water, what is it that they feel about this twin flame contract? And same for them. The card of spirit, what is the point of view of the voice of their soul that signed the thing in the first place? All right, you ready? Let's do this. Fire, what do y'all want? Interesting. You want something solid and stable and dependable and valuable. This is the Taurus card. Maybe this person is a Taurus or is like a Taurus, has some stability about them. And with the Messiah archetype, that would be nice. That would actually be really nice. Now remember, that doesn't mean necessarily they're a spiritual teacher or a spiritual Messiah, but we know we run into those people who like, I'm the only means, right? Which is, you can't do this without me, as well as we come across those people who really serve humanity with humility, right? So there might be something very comforting, but Taurus energy, right? So you want that. You want that sense of stability. And of course, if you've got a high devotion, you want to give your devotion to someone. You could even say something, right? Causes, things like that, relationships in general, but also relationships to places, things, organizations that are stable and that match your core lifelong values, fixed earth, fixed values. What they want, though, is the 2 of flames. They still want a little leeway room here because they are indecisive, or at least they want to deal with indecision in one way or another. I know a lot of people say the 2 of blades or the 2 of swords is a card of indecision. I see that as a card of gathering information because it's thought. This is fire, will, desire. And here we have Jason of Jason and the Argonauts deciding whether or not to go into the cave, right, with Chiron, the wounded healer, the centaur, or walk away, right, or move on to something else entirely. So he doesn't realize what a big decision it is. It might just seem like a choice, because the difference between a choice and a decision is life-changing, but wants to deal with that, like wants to make this decision, but may not realize it's a decision so much as that is wants to make this choice, but might be more of a decision than a choice. Words. Okay. The guys are chatty. So what is it that you both have? Your element of earth. Well, that's interesting. You've got the 2 of Pentacles. So you've got a good sense of balance in your life right now. Like maybe in general, and I can't miss the Taurus imagery in both cards. I mean, there's not literally a bull drawn in here, but it is the Taurus card. And what you have is the bull leaper. So we've got that Taurian imagery there, which for an air sign is interesting. But do know that it's a 2, though. It's like you can juggle this. Whatever it is that's going on here, you don't have to make this great, big, huge decision. So it seems like you're both in deuce energy. It doesn't sound right. But what they're interesting where they are, what they have is the 3 of Pentacles. So, you know, a decent, solid foundation, which is what I think you are drawn to in this person, but certainly one that needs to be built upon. It's just a foundation, right? The house has not been fully built. Like all the ingredients for the cake is there, but they haven't been combined and put in an oven yet. So it's just ingredients. It ain't cake. Let them eat ingredients, just doesn't have the same ring, Marie. So what are you both thinking about this? Oh, well, this is where it gets interesting. See, you've got the card, not that it's not interesting, but here you've got the Empress. So you're thinking about this really in terms of matrimony, in terms of at least some sort of partnership with a powerful equal. You probably think in a lot of unconditional love towards this person. And what's interesting, they have got the 3 of Wands. They are willing to wait. I find that very, very, very interesting that they are willing to wait. Now, I'm debating on whether or not to say this because it's not even a piece of intuitive information. It's something that Matt Kahn said in his video, Soul Contracts, Twin Flames, and Soulmates Redefined. He said, yes, there are 2 contracts, but there are occasions, and he said they are rare. You know what I'm going to say if you've been following me for a while, where a twin flame evolves or transforms into a soulmate contract, going from tumultuous to something satisfying and possibly long-term, right? The possibly long-term, it seems like if you're going to go through all of that, you might as well enjoy the soulmate part of it too, not just like 20 years of twin flame and a month of soulmate, right? One wood, hope, knock wood. That's why I do this on a wood table, so it's easy to knock. So it might be that the 2 of you really want something here together, and I'm wondering if it's because of you might feel very devoted to this person, and you might really, when you think of them, actually feel that love move through you. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what's in the element of water, because they're still, I don't want to say carrying a torch for you. This feels romantic. Sorry, I know. Nothing screaming that yet. And let's not completely brand it as a sexual romantic reading. We'll see what all the cards are on the table, because this could play itself out as that, as well as perhaps a parent-child, because this could also be very much the Empress's mother, right? In fact, she is the mother of the Maiden Mother and Crone in this deck. You got the Priestess, the Maiden, Mawu, the Empress, the Mother, and the Kaliek, the Wise One, the Hermit, the Crone. It's a feminist deck. All right, emotions, water, gotta see this. Well, 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 well. You are learning how to deal with your emotions. You're an air sign. Hey, there, no tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. It's okay. It's okay. Not everybody was, well, particularly in my generation. I'm Generation X. You know how we were taught to deal with our emotions? Eat this, drink this, pop this pill, sleep with this person, work harder, make more money, right? A lot of yang for us divine yins. The divine feminines really kind of suffered through the 80s and the 90s until the new age hit, and then we started pasting crystals to our foreheads. Oh, the New Age 90s, can't wait till I write that book. So the learner, the 8 of Pentacles. So you, if there is emotional, what you want out of this contract, what you're feeling here is that you kind of really need to do some emotional work on yourself. And that is something that is of, in my opinion, the highest devotion if it's really about healing. If it's really, and I'm going to, again, call on Matt Kahn. He's really a genius. He's, I would say, verbal as I am, but he's more West Coast and he's Hay House, so he can't say the words that I can say, but even on YouTube I'm doing like that, right? No, this, you gotta love what rises. Gotta love what rises. There is a healing process in place here. You're learning how to heal yourself. You're learning how to love yourself, right? The learner. I just wonder if this is going to alchemize into soulmate, and I doubt we're going to know from this reading, folks. So tune in next month, because your twin here in the emotion has the 9 of Wands. Defensive. Defensive. they're waiting for you. Like in their mind, there's this loyalty. It's like they can't get you off their mind, but their hearts are guarded like crazy. In fact, it wouldn't take much for the Argo to get over that barrier, right? It's the Argo almost all the way home to get to that 10 of Wands, right? It's only the 9 of Wands, almost over that. It's just that last little push to just get it to completion. I think the two of you really need to talk. I really do. I really, really do. We'll see. Other cards coming down. But now, here we go. Here's the one that can turn the whole thing. Turn the whole thing around. What is the point of view of the soul? Oh my God. You've got the Harvest card, the 10 of Pentacles. This contract is about you completing some stuff and you gathering all the wisdom that you've had. And part of the reason you are so drawn to this person is because of their stability. Now, other people might not think of them as stable in the same way that you do. But the soul is like saying, it feels like home. Feels like home, feels like harvest, feels happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Now that, again, can play itself out differently. That could say that, well, you're on the path of becoming happy, healthy, wealthy, wise within yourself, because that's necessary. You have to be the mate of your own soul before you can be a soulmate. That's why you need twin flame contracts, so that you learn how to love yourself, so that you can become a soulmate of your own soul. You get it, right? It's just process. But what they got is the 6 of Wands. The soul is saying, you will overcome this last little bit of resistance, but sweetheart, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to probably have to make the move, because the messiahs are usually busy. Messiahs are usually busy, particularly if they are serving humanity with humility. You have to give them that there are a lot of people in their life, most likely. But they really have a nice solid foundation here too. I like you two together. I mean, I have to say, the moment I saw the monk nun flip over and then to see the Messiah join it, that's an intense twin flame contract. I just wonder that there's something victorious here, and with a great harvest from the point of view of the soul. I get why the soul chose, why you guys chose this. Interesting. 4 more cards down, though, and this will be our center lane. Let me just move these out of the way a touch so I have a clean center lane. I took the problem cards, the suit of the problem, out of the Love Pack by Chuck Spezzano, because we want to look at what's the problem. What's going on, right? Do you ever do a reading like that? We're just like, what? The WTF read. What the fudge is going on in this twin flame contract? Let's have a look. Breathe. My Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contract specialists that you are. There you are. Please, one card. What's the problem here, right? This is the contract itself. This isn't just one of them. It's both of them. It's the thing that they are dealing with in this relationship, around this relationship, about this relationship. Really, what's the problem in this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract, timeless, or July into August 2020, please? My Ascended Masters, this one. Fantasy. Fantasy. Here's the thing. The two of you have some very, very interesting thoughts in your mind that just aren't true about each other and about this relationship. Could there be projection of deification here? Projection of deification to me is when you sort of deny the deity that you are, that we're all divine at the core, and project it onto somebody else and put them not just on a pedestal, on a mountaintop, so that you can't possibly be worthy because you haven't embraced that within yourself. That sounds very twin flamey. My sense is that if this Messiah is in their light, they are not projecting divinity onto you. They are extending it and seeing it within you, making them a bit more calmer, a bit more stable, but they're really indecisive. They're tired of this indecision of, should I contact them? Should I, if they're healthy, they have clean boundaries, so they may not. tricky. I'll say on both sides here, there is some fantasy, and I don't feel like it's idealization. I think it's actually, oh no, it can't, no. And the thing is this is what's hard about being a reader with doing general readings. If this were private, I could say to you, look, let's look and see what I can get you about next steps with this. And when I start the membership program, I'll be doing extended reads like that. The membership, you'll be able to sign up as a member on my channel. I'm just waiting for that a little bit. I want to see what my levels are and stuff like that. But it definitely feels like if you're doing the emotional work, you're going to realize a lot of those doubts, those fears. It's almost like you're imagining, oh, worst case scenario. There you go. You're fantasizing worst case scenario. Please, I was raised by teachers and lawyers. I know what that looks like. So let's keep going. I don't want to dwell on the problem so much as we want to look at the healing, in particular with the healing with the angels. Oracle, the soulmate card was at the bottom. Let's just move that along, shall we? Let's just see what actually comes up when I shuffle the cards. Nice deep breath. My angels and archangels. You know, the moment I touch the cards, the connection is made, but the breath just prepares me. It's so cool. Hi. My angels and archangels, please. What is the Healing with the Angel Oracle card? In other words, the healing angel that has been assigned to this contract, this twin flame contract, to help them heal. This Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract, timeless, or July into August 2020, please. What is their healing angel they can call upon? Now, it's interesting. You've got the card of dreams to match this card of fantasy. So why would the healing angel of dreams come in to help you heal the problem of a fantasy? To say that possibly what's really tricky about this is this is what you've always dreamed of. And it feels like it's both of you, because this is the center lane. Certainly look to your dreams. I mean, I would if I could. I just don't remember them. I think because of what I do for a living, my subconscious mind is like, nope, we're fresh out. Go sleep, right? Rest, get, or I just am not supposed to remember what's going on there. But it also does speak of life dreams. Like, okay, maybe the two of you are not going to come together in the way that you want, right? Can't give each other the love that you want from each other, get the love that you need, but that you're preparing yourselves for the real kind of dream thing. But I have to say, with that card of fantasy here, yes, absolutely be aware of your fantasies. Like, all right, Byron Katie, B-Y-R-O-N-K-A-T-I-E. It's a woman named Byron, spiritual teacher. She has this stuff called The Work. And it's 4 questions that you ask yourself and something called a turnaround or a reversal. I forget, it's been a while. Look it up. So that you can really ask yourself, is it true? Can I absolutely know it's true? What am I like when I think this thought? Who would I be if I didn't think this thought? Which is a huge paraphrase on a very, very intense and very powerful self-inquiry process called The Work by Byron Katie. But look into it, right? Have a look-see-dooksy. I just get this weird fluttery feeling in my solar plexus that you guys are torturing yourselves individually on this. And a lot of it's because of ethics and boundaries that you set up, but they were... ethics and boundaries are a wonderful thing, but you want them built on a solid foundation of truth and fact, and it feels like you both want to connect and communicate. Gemini, 3rd house, express yourselves, but maybe not time yet. Let's ask the higher selves of all involved. This is a good reading. I like some depth. Yes, even for Geminis. I like some depth. I tease Geminis worse than any other sign, and I think every reader should be allowed to tease at least one of the 12 on a regular basis. Then all of us would get hit. Oh, it's not like us, except for Virgos. We're the only sane ones of the zodiac. Well, aside from the Taurians and the Capricorns, sticklers and martyrs. Breathe. Someone said I should do a spiritual stand-up. I'm like, sorry, I'm not depressed enough to be a stand-up comic. I know a bunch. Breathe. The higher selves of all involved. Please, can we get a whisper of love, a piece of information, insight, or information, inspiration, or insight from the higher selves of all involved in this Gemini collective? Sun. Ooh, moon. Nah. No, I'm not taking it. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. In this twin flame contract, timeless, or July into August 2020, please, for this monk archetype, monk nun archetype, and this Messiah, what is the message from their higher selves and the higher selves of all involved? Have patience. This is a waiting game. This is a waiting game. Love is patient and kind always, even if that did not go down between the two of you. Do you have a feeling words were exchanged here? Do you feel like you two definitely know each other and you have had contact? Otherwise, where would that devotion be coming from? This is definitely somebody that you know, but I'm going to tell you something, Gemini. I feel like you're going to have to make the first move because they're going to be honoring your agreement, your boundaries, whatever that is, because they see the holy in you, unless they are so in the shadow. I'm not getting that in my physiology here, but that could certainly play itself out there. Yeah, I listen to my body a lot. I'm not this time. Sometimes it says, cookie. That's why I don't keep them in the house. Shall we? Your last card down, a healing mantra card from the healing mantra deck. How nice of Matt Kahn to actually name it the healing mantra card for the healing mantra deck. Does save time. What is the healing mantra that you need? From the Ascended Masters, who gave us the card of the problem. See how they totally set up the spread for me, and I download it, right? So this way we will ask the very pantheon that brought forth that card of the problem, fantasy, of what to help heal it, which is the Angel of Dreams. And I would think this have patience thing. Feels like your dream's going to come true. May not be with this person, but like I said, there's that chance. Let's find out. Breathe. My Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts, please. It's like talking to a panel of lawyers. Please, one card in clarity. What is the perfect healing mantra for this Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in their twin flame contracts, timeless, or July into August 2020. We've got the Gemini as the monk nun here. We've got the twin as the Messiah. I mean, come on. So what is the perfect healing mantra for them? Even if it's a cross-watcher as the Messiah is watching this, what is the perfect healing mantra that they can do to help themselves heal and maybe alchemize this from a twin flame to a soulmate, though I know how rare that is. I'm not a dealer in false hope. I'm a dealer in information. So please, the perfect healing mantra regardless for these two in this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract. Unhooking the past. There is nothing to regret when I learned from my past. There's nothing to regret when I learned from my past indicates that the two of you not only have a past together, but that you can actually heal this and unhook from it and learn from it and maybe start again or go your separate ways. So just like tarot, why would they come right out and tell you? Because you've got to live through it. My guides say to me all the time, Mark, just watch the movie, Meeting My Own Life. They're like, you already know how this goes deep down inside. Your higher self wouldn't have chosen this unless it had a really decent, ending at least. I'm expecting either Cecil B. DeMille or, I don't know, Esther Williams. I don't know. I'm expecting some kind of grand finale, one would hope. Because look at me. All right? So there is nothing to regret when I learned from my past. So, sorry, I can't tell you what's going to happen because it's not that kind of read. But I will read what it says in the bookie book, and then I'll pop up the overview and see what else shows itself. Unhooking the past. There is nothing to regret when I learn from my past. When you unlock the past, you are able to see crucial moments of growth from fresh perspectives. This allows you to see the mistakes of your past as catalysts for development, not as something you did wrong. And that's really big. That's the soul's point of view. The ego's point of view is always, I'm screwed up, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have this, I shouldn't have that. But the soul is very, very clear. It's all written. Yes, there are quantum variations. There are ones where you did that and ones where you didn't. But it's all for the growth of the soul. The highest possibilities are coming to be whether we envision them or not. So that's literally in his book. Where is it? The thing about you can't get it wrong, you've done nothing wrong. I think it's the first of the 10. Matt Kahn, the universe always has a plan. You've done nothing wrong. That's from the soul perspective. The ego is never going to agree with that. Somebody else or you, no one's going to agree with that until they evolve. It's an opportunity to see how your previous actions could have been better aligned with your highest values. When you when you learn today the things you didn't know before, you are able to meet your current circumstances with renewed clarity, so the past can be unhooked instead of repeated, which again kind of speaks to the two of you could get another shot at this, because I feel like there's love and devotion here. I feel like there's a lot of love and devotion here, but you're both sort of torturing yourselves. This mantra is ideal for overcoming self-criticism, releasing shame, and being more open-minded. Well, I think let's just pop up the picture and see what else shows itself, shall we? Because there's a lot on this table. But let the gods say it through me. Breathe. Magic. Clap. Because we've got you, my Geminis, as the monk or nun archetype, the shadow attribute, negative judgment of the physical world with excess piety. And the time we're in, I understand that too. You might have walled yourself up in some ways, considering. The light attribute, though, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. So there's something very dedicated within you. And I do feel like this is about your own spiritual growth as a result of healing, perhaps from what has been a tumultuous and transformative twin flame contract here, because what you want is this stability in this contract, right? Or at least that's what you want to get from it. Really, really clear on your values. Like, what is my honor code? What is it that I will do? What is it that I won't? What are my boundaries? Who am I in terms of my conduct and my soul at a core fixed value level? And what you have to do that is the Two of Pentacles. There's some juggling here that you can do. Now, it does feel like, you know, I'm hearing, darling, you've got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? And that's part of the juggling thing. And remember, he's got the Messiah archetype here on the other side. Your twin has that Two of Wands. So you both have sort of that back and forth vibe here. But what you're thinking here, you kind of have unconditional love for this person. It's the Empress card. You might think of yourself as a divine partner of this twin. But there's something very divine feminine here. It might be confusing you if you consider yourself a divine masculine or purely air sign intellectual, that your mind keeps going into these emotional places and you're probably triggering yourself. Something as simple as a song on the radio, and all of a sudden your heart is flying open. And by the way, that's not always a pleasurable thing, right? That sadness is often the heart like pulling itself out of a cramp, so to speak. It hurts, but it is love that's pushing out what no longer serves, right? And what's going on in your emotions here are the Eight of Pentacles. So your element of water is definitely saying that you're the learner, you're learning how to deal with this, but it is making you stronger as you go, because the voice of the soul here is the Ten of Pentacles, the harvest. You are reaping what you have sown, but it feels like in a really good way. So really do dedicate yourself to spirit. Look, the great thing about being a monk or a nun archetype means that you can have sex, you can have romance, you can have a job, right? You don't have to take the vows of chastity and poverty and silence and, you know, all of that. I mean, you certainly can. There's nothing wrong with a personal spiritual discipline, but with this Ten of Pentacles, this, I gotta say, like, what you want, this feels like home. Like, there's something really good between the two of you here, and that's why I'm gonna say there's a possibility of that odd alchemy from twin flame to soulmate, but that's probably not going to play itself out for absolutely everybody, and that's why there's nothing absolutely confirming here. But looking at now your twin, the Messiah archetype in the shadow, exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed, and maybe he does. I keep saying he, I apologize. The Messiah archetype here might really feel like this could be over unless he can save it. And he can't, because it takes both. And I think that's part of that fantasy card there, at least on the Messiah's part. But the light attributes, serving humanity with humility. So if they are really in that light part of the archetype, you're dealing with somebody here who really wants, I'll just say, the well-being of all, the highest good of all, and wants to serve the divine plan, even if those are not the words they would ordinarily use. But what they want is to really resolve this Two of Wands, this indecision. Again, it's, darling, my gods, you've got to let me know, should I stay or should I go? Like, they want so much to reach out to you, but are so indecisive because they're not sure what the healing thing is to do. So do they pull back and go into the cave with Chiron, the wounded healer, or do they reach out to you? But I feel like if there's a boundary where the two of you have agreed to go your separate ways, that he's just not gonna cross that. Because we've got that Three of Pentacles. He has a solid foundation. I do get, I know we're not supposed to talk psychology in an earth sign, but I do feel that kind of like more solid, grounded, very practical. But with a Messiah archetype, it's, if they're anywhere near that light, that's going to be for in a very benevolent way, right? Serving humanity with humility. Because you're on his mind. Again, I keep saying him. I'm so sorry. I'm so used to doing divine feminine on one side and divine masculine on the other. But I like this way better. The Three of Wands is about loyalty and waiting and willing to perhaps sacrifice some time, sacrifice some conveniences and some comfort here, at least mentally. But I would say is definitely carrying a torch for you, though may not be revealing it, right? But with that Nine of Wands emotionally, my God, it wouldn't take much. It really wouldn't take much for this person to take that final leap into the 10 of Wands, which I know is a tricky card in a lot of decks, sort of that overwhelming, burden, crushing kind of vibe. But it does feel like, again, he would be not so much emotionally in the 9, but in the 10 all the way home. And remember, you've got the 10 in the soul position. And what's in his soul position here? The position of spirit, the voice of the soul, 6 of Wands, victory. Jason actually has defeated the dragon, has the golden fleece, but has not made it all the way home yet, right? It's only a 6 out of the 10, but we're looking at the 9, right? We're looking at the 9 right before that. So interesting. Wow, you have 4. The Messiah has the 2 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, and the 6 of Wands. So there is something very hero's journey here. Very Jason and the Argonauts, very much the Golden Fleece, where you've really only have the only major arcana card on the table here with the Empress. So pray for this person, pray for yourself, pray for both of them. Whatever your spiritual process is, engage the mind, particularly with that Empress card there. Just going to say. Now, our center lane, remember, is the contract overall, which involves both of you. So the problem here, according to the Ascended Masters, is the card of fantasy. So you're not seeing correctly, and I don't think either one of you, and I think that's part of it, particularly looking at this, have patience, love is always patient and kind always. It seems like you both had to believe things that weren't necessarily true so that you could move away from each other, break off some communication for some healing to take place. But that doesn't make what you believe about each other to be true. I kind of get the vibe that you both really, really, really love each other. And that there is something dreamlike. Call upon the angel of dreams to either show you stuff in your dreams or to really help you get in touch with I hate using this language. It's so sappy, romantic. And this need not be a romantic contract. Like, again, not screaming that, but kind of feeling it more empathically than not. Like, what is your heart's desire? What is your dream lover, your dream relationship? The things that are written on our hearts, we didn't write there. They're in the contract, right? So this is either damn close to, close but no cigar, or there is a possibility here of true alchemy and the two of you becoming soulmates rather than twin flames, but it's going to take time, right? Have patience. Love is patient and kind always. So the mantra to help you through this is by unhooking the past. There is nothing to regret when I learned from my past. So if you make that your mantra and integrate that as into part of your healing growth, right? That 8 of Pentacles, the learner, then it would make sense. There is nothing to regret when I learn from my past. The more you work that mantra, the more the subconscious is going to show you what you have already learned and continue moving you into that 10 of Pentacles harvest place within yourself. And then hopefully the two of you will both pull your crown chakras out of your root chakras and communicate with each other, but only when the time is right. And you're not going to know when that is for right now. Wow. Wow, a really, really cool reading. And I will say again, just to cover my own root chakra on this, nothing here is screaming sexual romantic. It's just the feeling. It's this heart chakra feeling, like the two of you really, really, really love each other, but perhaps things were said out of pain, and you're taking that as gospel truth. It's a weird way to say it, but it's not with that fantasy card. So, may the Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their twin flame contracts, that they may heal, that they may see through the fantasy, that they may tap into their dreams, that they may have patience, and that they may unhook for the past, that they may heal themselves, love themselves, and allow this to play itself out for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you so much for watching, my Geminis. Again, if you're new, please do consider liking, subscribing, notifying, getting the notifications, and commenting below. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed on in your twin flame contracts, timeless, July into August 2020. Now, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.